Get over here!
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my first ever Forge Guard build guide focused around forged weapon. As always, we will look at gameplay, skills, passives, gear, and of course break down the character sheet. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. Now the skills I'm going to be using are Lunge, Forge Strike, Sigils of Hope, Manifest Armor, Warpath, and Smite. But Smite is auto-triggered, so we actually don't keep that on our action bar. Gives us a little extra movement skill with Lunge. Now, when you are using Warpath and spinning, you are going to make forged weapons. See little swords popping up? And you can have a maximum of 12 of them. Some of them are swords, some of them are axes, but they do the exact same amount of damage. And these are your main damage dealers. Now, there are other ways to make forged weapons. If you have a big group of enemies and you drop Forge Strike on them, you can also make forged weapons that way. So either or, however you want to do it. Sigils of Hope is on auto cast, so you can use it while spinning, which is great. And on top of that, we are going to be shredding tons of armor. So our minions are going to do that much more damage. And I gotta say, the AI on the forged weapons is really good. I kind of feel like they did a better job than actual Necro minions.
I cannot do that.
On top of that, your Manifest Armor does tons of damage. And your Manifest Armor is as strong as your gear. And we'll take a look at that when we are in the skills section. You can see you just kind of traverse the map and everything just dies. Now what's cool about this build is Smite. It's almost like you have a manual healer whenever you want. Anytime you hit an enemy with Warpath, every 1 second it is going to trigger Smite, which is going to heal you and give you increased attack speed. Again, we will look at that when we are in the skills portion. As you can see, we are just tearing this stuff apart. And of course, this is empowered content. Would not make a build that cannot do empowered runs. That was quick. Let's do one more. And we're off. Take that. Now this build took me a long time to figure out because a lot of people say you cannot run a Forge Guard as only minions. I felt like I had to prove them wrong. This is actually my first ever Forge Guard build. But what really made things come full circles when I figured out Smite. Not using Smite as damage, of course, but using it as a buff to the class. Offers healing, offers mana regen, gives us attack speed, and it goes off every second. Again, it's like having a potion go off every single second. And you don't have to click it. It's even better. Let's backtrack a little bit. I haven't been really using my sigils, which give us a huge damage increase. Let's use sigils for the rest of this run. So I dropped that Forge Strike and it got us up to double-digit forged weapons. If you have large packs of enemies, that's what will happen. And we are done. Oh, you came back to life, did ya? Isn't gonna help ya. Let me show you how to recreate this build. Now let's check out the skills for this build, starting with Warpath. Now what you want to do is go right first when you are leveling this up because you want to get those forged weapons when you are spinning. 2 into Unchained, 1 into Reckless Spin, 2 into Molten Path, 2 into Way of the Executioner, 1 into Forge Master Stance, and 5 into Moving Forge. This makes it where you summon the swords more frequently. Then you want to go left, 1 into Quicksilver Wind, 1 into Gorebringer, 1 into Earth Scorcher, 2 into Path of the Heavens, and 4 into Winds of Justice. This is where you get your Smite. 100% every second when you are spinning and hitting an enemy, Smite will come down. That's kind of overkill having 4 into it. I wish I had more points into this so I can get 3 into Quicksilver Wind. My character is obviously pretty slow when you are spinning, so I wish I could speed that up a little bit, but I like having the Smites coming down. So if you had more points, I would put them right there. Moving over to Sigils of Hope. Now on here, remember that when you're spinning, you're not going to be generating mana, so you got to be really cautious when you are using your sigils, but they will give you a ton of damage for your forged weapons. You want 3 into Iron Sigils, 5 into Enduring Hope, 1 into Tetragram, 5 into Empowering Sigils, 3 into Decree of the Flame, 2 into Word of the Alcriti, and 1 into Expediency. And this is what's going to give you the instant cast, so you can cast sigils when you are spinning. Okay. Moving over to Forge Strike, where you actually get the empowered for your forged weapons. You want 4 into Forged by Fire, 4 into Well Forged Weapons, 1 into Forge Master, 2 into Mass Production, 5 into Heavy Strike, and 4 into Light Forge. And this is going to give you attack speed. This is going to give you increased damage and stun chance, and both of these are applied to your forged weapons. Okay. Now you want to take a look at Manifest Armor, and this thing is a beast, and I said I would explain it. Manifest Armor is as strong as your gear because it takes affixes from your gear. It's a really unique and awesome skill. So on here, you want 4 into Plate Mail. This makes it 200% of your armor is on him. 300% on your helmet under Great Helm. 225% on Steel Greaves, and that's your boots. And 300% on Iron Grasp. Now, when you come up, this is going to give you increased damage on your armor. And on top of that, when you come top, you want 3 into Redistribute Steel and 1 into Titan Mace. This means that not only are your boots, your helmet, your armor, your gloves, now also your weapon is equipped to your Manifest Armor. That's why it is so freaking strong. Last but not least, Smite, the thing that tied everything together. Now again, Smite in itself is not going to do any damage because this is focused around minion affixes. So you want to go to the left to buff your character. You want 4 into Holy Wave, 3 into Soothing Bomb, 4 into Grace, 1 into Panacea, 1 into Desperate Measures, 3 into Righteous Fury, and 4 into Righteous Flurry. Again, this is going to give you increased attack speed and cast speed. It is going to heal you every single time it comes down. It's also going to heal your forged weapons, and it is going to give you increased mana regen right here with Soothing Bomb. Great skill. Again, it is like having a healing potion every single second while you are spinning. Those are the skills. Moving over to passives, and right now my character is level 84. Base class, you want exactly 20 points, 7 into Juggernaut, 8 into Fearless, and 5 into Armor Clad. That's it. Moving over to Forge Guard, I have 53 points right now, 10 into Battle Hardened, 10 into Guardian, 10 into Smelter's Might, 8 into Iron Attunement, 10 into Folded Steel, 1 into Flawless Defender, 1 into Bane, and 3 into Shield Crafter. Moving over to Paladin. You want 8 into Defiance, 10 into Valor, and right now I am leveling Holy Symbol. So I'd put 7 in there. Those are the passives. Moving over to everyone's favorite gear, starting with idols. And I sound like a broken record because I say this for every build guide. My gear is not good. I couldn't even imagine how much better this would be if I had true endgame gear, okay? Always check out the link in the description for the build planner for the true endgame gear I wish I had. The idols I'm currently using, I needed elemental resistance, so I threw this on, but this is what you're really looking for. Plus seconds to Sigils of Hope and chance to armor shred on melee hit. You could also take Sigils of Hope and chance to shred armor with fire skills. So those are the 2 big ones you need, and the rest I just filled in with idols that I needed resistances for. Okay? My idols are terrible. Check the link in the description. Moving over to gear. There's nothing required for this build, okay? Nothing required. That being said, The Ribbons of Blood ring is really, really good. It's going to give you some health. It's going to give you melee minion life leech, increase minion leech rate, and +2 melee physical damage for your minions. Okay? Really good ring for your swords. All right? I'm going to go through each item one by one. Helmet. Amulet. Minion damage. Armor. This is where we got our +2 to Warpath. Sword, and I recommend a two-handed sword for this. This is a tier 6, higher tier 6, increase minion melee damage. Belt. Ring. Relic. Boots. And gloves. That is the gear. Now let's break down the character sheet, and I am level 84. I have 45 points into attunement and 27 into vitality. Movement speed for the build is 23% because my boots currently don't have movement speed on them. So if we had that 15 to 18% on our boots and we had the extra 2 points into Warpath, we would literally move almost 40% faster, but as of now, 23%. Resistances, fire, lightning, cold, physical, and poison are all max. Necrotic's almost there, and void needs a little bit of work. You'll see that physical's way over, cold's way over, and fire's way over. So if I could just shift a couple of these over, it should not be easy. It should not be hard to get all my resistances maxed. You don't care about any damage here, because all you care about is minion damage. Other defenses, critical strike avoidance is at 80%, endurance is at 34, endurance threshold 538. Our overall minion damage, this is the big number. Increase minion melee, 738%. That is where we're getting all our damage from. And remember too that you are shredding armor over and over again while you are spinning, so you're just doing that much more damage. That is the character sheet. Last but not least, something that I've been putting in my build guides has been my leveling recommendations. And obviously in Last Epoch, if you've played it before, it's not overly hard to level, but if you're brand new, this will definitely help you. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a Paladin, a Void Knight, or a Forge Guard. When I am leveling up my Sentinel, I always do it the exact same way. And honestly, there's really only 2 skills you need, especially really early on. And that is Rive and Shield Rush. Okay, and if you don't like Shield Rush, you could also use Lunge. I recommend Shield Rush because it does not require an enemy to use, and it goes really, really far, so you can traverse the map very quickly. Now, in Rive, there's 2 nodes you definitely want. You want to come up, over, and grab this, Coup de Grace. This is going to give you a 3rd strike kill threshold of 15%, which is great against bosses and champions and larger packs later in the game. Then you want to come down this way and grab this node, Focus Strike. This makes it that every single 3rd hit you crit, which means you are doing big damage. Rive with this and Shield Rush means that as long as you have a good 2-handed weapon or dual wielding, you will absolutely crush leveling through the campaign. And then you could take on Manifest Armor when you unlock Forge Guard. If you put points into Paladin, you can get Sigils of Hope. It is all up to you, but the 2 main skills, Rive and Shield Rush. Now, when you are leveling, I recommend dual wielding, okay? And with Shield Rush, you could take a node where it doesn't require a shield, so that is not important. And for me, I've got all my 2-handed weapons all in order based upon level, and I just switch them out as I am leveling up. Now, if you don't have all the uniques in the game so far or set items, what you could do is go to Last Epoch Tools, and you can go to axes, you can go to swords, you can go to whatever you want, and just look up what level they unlock at. So it's like, here's the level 8 swords, here's the level 20 swords, here's the level 30 swords. And as you cross that threshold, you just put in your new items. But trust me when I say Rive and Shield Rush, it's the best way to go. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my new and first Forge Guard? Of course, I had to go to Forge Weapon because you know my love of minions. And don't forget, over 20 build guides in the description. And for this build, we have the advanced build planner that has best in slot gear and the advanced loot filter. So check it out, it is in the description. 2 asks at the end of this video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. Hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it totally helps the channel moving into the future. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 42 people that have signed up. Become an instant ARPG VIP and get Patreon exclusive content at the first link in the description. We got our weekly podcast, weekly blog post, access to the VIP lounge in the Discord, special title, and depending on the tier, lots of other goodies, including we could stream and make content together. It's awesome. First link in the description. That's all I've got. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.